Wolfenstein! The new order. This is a good game. I actually played this long time ago on the PS3. I obviously wasn't like doing reviews or videos or anything back then. But I played it again recently. It's been a long time. It's probably my favorite Wolfenstein. Although New Colossus is probably a little bit more entertaining and fun and exciting. Old Blood is kind of its own thing. It's hard to even really squeeze that in. But this one, it really screams Wolfenstein. New Order. So, you know, New Colossus, what does that even mean, right? Like, New Order, like, oh, okay. Kind of get the vibe of what's going on here. And Death's Head, the main bad guy. It's a pretty sweet name, Death's Head. I don't know, it's just this game just does it. I think the overall presentation is better. The cover art, the theme, the dark grittiness. It is a PS3 game, so it's older. It's very first person cinematic. When I was playing it again for footage, oh man, I was getting motion sickness, which I don't normally get. I don't know if I'm just tired or like I just ate or something. I don't know. But all the shaking, holy cow, man. It's pretty gnarly. When New Colossus, I don't know if that originally came out on PS3. It might have been a PS4 game. I don't know. I don't remember that game being nearly as bad with the camera shaking, and like it's still very much in that realm, obviously, but yeah, New Colossus definitely had better quality of life, better graphics. I mean, better gameplay, gunplay, everything. This game was like, man, it was rough. It was exciting and fun at first. It's like, oh, it's been so long. Like, I just played a bunch of Resident Evil. It was kind of nice to transition to something a little more kind of upbeat. But man, the gameplay was so infuriating. You go behind cover and it's doing like, I'm a wall hugger. I like to go behind cover. I like to crouch. I like to actually try to protect myself and survive and live. Try to be somewhat tactical. It's just how you play, and you go behind cover or a box or something, and your stupid BJ is like, fuck, God, it's so frustrating. He's like doing the whole leaning out of cover to shoot thing, and I cannot stand cover games. It's like every Ubisoft Tom Clancy game in a nutshell. It just drives me insane. Like, I'm trying to aim my sights where I want it. The guns are so big. The iron sights are like this. You can barely. I do a lot of long range stuff, or I try to, obviously, because that's the problem with this game, though. You can run a gun. You can try to sneak. It's so kind of up in the air because you have options, and that's what makes it a problem. But man, between the cover system, it's not even really a cover system. It's just snapping towards where you're behind at, and you're trying to shoot something. And it's just so, God, it's so terrible. It made the whole game just that much harder to play, because I can't tell if they were incentivizing you to just do the run and gun. You're gonna die if you run and gun. I mean, yeah, that's what they want you to do. They want you to dual wield. The dual wielding sucks. It eats up ammo. You're already grabbing ammo constantly and armor as it is, and health, and oh, it's just tedious. It's annoying. It's like Doom. It's Doom and Wolfenstein. I know they're related, but the play styles are so frustrating. That's all you're doing is picking stuff up for picking stuff up's sake. I know it's a Bethesda game, there's Bethesda in it, whatever it is that they do specifically, whatever. But you also got like the Evil Within up in there too. I never played Dishonored. But at least the Evil Within, it's very playable. Like it's very... Even just comparing similar... They're kind of grouped up. They all have like their own Easter eggs, and they're all kind of... Like Evil Within had a Doom, Wolfenstein Easter egg in it. Dishonored as well, but it's like the one game out of the bunch I never really played. Maybe you can put Prey in there somewhere. I never played Prey. But either way, this is a first-person shooter with big guns, and they're so big, they're hogging up half the screen. You're trying to aim at this head like this big, way over there. Man, it's tough. Like, it really does force you to kind of... It forces you to be good at shooting, because, like, you have to find cover, even with or without the whole snapping behind cover thing and shooting, aiming off the side. You know, you got guys running around everywhere. All you see half the time is their heads, because they're taking cover as well, obviously. But aside from the going behind cover, there's like an auto aim, aim assist. I wouldn't even really know. I want to say there's like a slight difference between the two, but it's different with each game. But I had mine off. There's an option in the freaking menu, and I turned it off because I don't like it choosing my shots for me. Or else you're just Man, between the two ways to shoot, if you're like this far away from cover, you can kind of free aim. But naturally you're gonna kind of be like, you know, right behind it. So God, it made the game just so much harder than it had to be. Because it's not really that hard of a game. It's not that, but it's not easy either. It's Wolfenstein. There's Nazis, there's blood, obviously very dark, heavy, gritty theme, raw. So you gotta expect it to be hard at some point in some way or another, but it wasn't even the difficulty or this or that was a problem. It's just simply playing the game. Holy cow, dude. These old school 3rd generation controls, man, just holy crap. And with all the like the camera wobble and all these things going on, holy cow. It's a hard just to get through the game. Like, it's worth it with the cutscenes, and it is fun. Like, each section is kind of cool, and you never know what you're doing next. And God, it's a good game, and you get so used to BJ throughout all the games, and the characters, the presentation, the voice, everything. But the biggest part for me to get through a game, to have a good flow, a good pacing, to make progress, you gotta have that good gameplay in there, and it's just, ugh. Cutscenes are good.
Backed up inside dead wreckage.
Is that you over there? Hey, Private Wyatt, flash your lights. Blasco, can you see the light? Wait, turn off the light, turn it off. Yes, sir.
Yeah, the voice acting's good. I like the sense of humor, the comedy relief, the action. Very high octane, Michael Bay, just shit everywhere. Holy cow, dude. It's a lot like Battlefield 4 or like old school CODs. It's just crazy nonsense chaos. And my thing with these games is like, you gotta be in the mood for it. Because I was playing so much Resident Evil, it's like you really can control your pacing and kind of where you're at with things and breathing room and take your time and relax a bit and vibe and refocus and recenter and you know, I like to be in control of what I'm doing, where I'm at and everything. Like open world games especially. And this is a game that just goes and goes and goes. Dude, it's tough, and the tedious, like, I'm looking around for stuff to constantly grab, and I try not to grab too much health, because then you're just overcharging constantly, and it's annoying. Like, you might need to go back and grab that health. You don't want to waste it. And some sections, it's, like, hard to figure out, like, okay, what do you want me to do? And there's some little text up above, oh, I missed it. Sorry, I'm playing the game, and you didn't put it right in my face. Like, I'll get lost on what it is exactly to do, and I'm like, hello? It's just, man, it's rough. It's really fun, but I can't express how, like, frustrating it can just simply be just getting through the damn game. But yeah, it is good, obviously. Like, there's a reason why I play this, and I come back to it, even. Oh yeah, I almost forgot Youngblood too, that's a thing. I almost forgot. Like, Youngblood was great for... It was the most modern, had the best controls, and... just very playable. That's the thing with me, is like, okay, if there's a story, this and that, fine. That's like the window shopping. It's... Or, I don't... How would you call that? What would you call it? Like the window dressing. Window shopping. Like, above everything, give me a good game to play at my own pace, the way I want to play it, how I want to play it, up to a point, sure, because most games are done in a controlled environment. Like, I want to be able to just... I can't get over how, man, it was such a relief when I was done. Like, right when I thought I was gonna be done, because I played it before. But it's been so long, it's been 10 plus years. I normally don't bring up the whole, like, oh, I've played it before, because it kind of ruins this timeline type of thing, but with this game, it's almost like I have to bring that up, because it's like, it's not that I don't know what I'm doing, and it was hard because I played it for the first time, or the second time, or all these years later. It was just, man, and the graphics, like, the graphics are good. The cutscenes look great, a lot better than the graphics. I don't know if it just got updated weirdly, or it's a newer version of the old game, obviously, as they do with a lot of games now. But God, even just like looking around, and man, I'm like looking for stuff to pick up, because you constantly need to re-up on everything all the time. It's just hard to see. It was hard to see the enemies, and just... Obviously, playing this back then would have been a whole different experience. Sure, it would have been a lot more accurate. Like, oh, the motion sickness, oh, that's normal. That's not a thing nowadays, man. And even if it is, it's very... it's much more well done. It's not like... And just half the crap that they would pull back then, you just don't really see it anymore. But other than that, it's like, yeah, Death's Head's a great boss. He really embodies the Nazi mindset that you would think of, and A very good villain character. I've always liked BJ. He's kind of flat and boring, and you know, the whole meathead soldier guy, whatever. But he has his moments. He has dad jokes, and it was interesting because I've mostly recently played Old Blood, Young Blood, and New Colossus. I think New Colossus was on PS3 now that I think about it. But I've played all three of those within the last few years. First time, second time, kind of a mix of both, I think. I don't know. But I haven't came back to this game in a while. Because there's a long time there where I was just trying to do new playthroughs and new games, and finally when I got to the point where I was like, hey, I haven't played this I haven't streamed this before, I haven't made a video on it, or I haven't played this game. I had a reason to replay it, so, and it was cool to come back to it, but the problem, I just had so many issues with it. Which is unfortunate because I remember it being so much of a better game. That's what sucks about nostalgia and memories half the time, is like, you're like, wait a minute, I don't remember this game being that hard, and you have so much more fonder memories back then as a kid and teenager and young adult or whatever, and then you come back to games and you're like, ooh, this is bad. You don't realize how kind of bad some games are until you come back to them like years later, take a step back and look at it from another point of view and angle. And you're like, god damn, dude, how did I stand this back in the day? It blows my mind. Like, granted, you're probably, well, you're obviously younger and your reflexes are different, but I wouldn't even blame it on that at this point. This was just like, dude, I know the difference between, like, if I were to play how many other games, and I would have had so much of a better just shooting experience. That's how you not die, that's how you survive, that's how you live, that's how you progress, that's how you complete the game, is that core mechanic. And if it's fucking shitty, like, I was about to give up on the damn thing. Like, halfway, 75% of the way, I was like, dude. My god, man. Granted, maybe it's just like I was craving maybe playing something a little slower and a little more. That's part of what made it so. Made me so, like, angry, especially towards the end, because I thought I was getting towards the end. And it pulls the whole, like, oh, you're getting close to the end, and 3 hours later. I was like, how much more of this shit is there, dude? It's just torture and suffering and pain towards the end. Like, once you get up to, like, halfway through, it's like, I get it. Okay, this is fun, cool. It does kind of drag on. It took me a lot longer to finish it than it did, but granted, when I was playing it, my schedule was just all over the place, and it was hard to kind of have, like, sit down and have a full session like I normally would. But I eventually did get it done, but it took way too long. This game should have took like 2 or 3 days, assuming you're playing for 8-ish hours, give or take. Took me about a week, like a business week, something like that. Yeah, I don't know, this is good and bad. I had to make it worth it, even with the frustration, be like, hey, it's Wolfenstein, it's something I've played before. I remember it being fun, it should be fun this time around too. I tried to rationalize it every single way that I could just to get through the damn thing. Yeah, the gameplay was good. Yeah, I don't know, it was coming back to it, it was something. If I were to have played it fresh today, modern consoles and graphics and monitors and controls and what are controllers? Man, I don't know. I have to kind of forgive its faults because like I know how old it is and I know how frustrating it can be. There's a lot of older-ish games around this era that I've been playing recently. And it's about the same story each time, is that it's just... it's a trip, man. And I find it's insane that people play even older games than this every day. I just don't know how they do it, because like... It just reminds me too much of the past, and not in a good way, and like... You know, it's so cool the things we've been getting, and that just keep getting better, and very pro future, and technology and advancement and all these things, and I play oldish games like this. It's not that old, granted, but it's old enough. And I just have like such a bad experience. Like I think games were better back then, but gameplay wise, I don't know if I can say that comfortably. Because these things are just so brutal, and that's just how anything is with time. Like, think of the medieval age, man. Big difference in comparison and contrast to today. It's no different with games or movies or anything. And at least with the movies, you just watch them. With games, it's like, dude, this is... It's playing this game that even everything I've been playing or will play in the future that's about this era of games, it's because of this game that makes you not want to go back to any of that at all anymore. Because man, you don't realize the kind of crap they pull, dude. And it's whew. But aside from all that, it's like, hey, I like zombies, I like World War II, or not zombies, Nazis, what, same thing. This was actually making me crave like a Nazi zombie game, like not like COD, but like Zombie War, or what is that game called? It's just making me really get in the mood, because every time I play stuff like this, it's just so much, it's fun. You know, it's so gratifying, like, fucking Nazis, man, just all the ridiculous amounts of blood, and like it's almost spoopy season. I've been watching a lot of spoopy movies, and I don't know, with this genre, you just cannot go wrong. Like, all the elements are there. It's just pure fun. Like, out of the games that they've done, Evil Within, Doom, this, which are my favorites out of the bunch, that are kind of all in this, like, package deal. Man, they're so good. They get right to the point, they're dark, they're bloody and messy and gory and dismemberment, and oh god, all the robots and the Nazism, and it's just fun to see like all the different depictions of World War II and the Third Reich and the regime and Hitler and this and that. It's just so interesting to see all the different viewpoints and the ways it can be interpreted. And Wolfenstein is the ideal Nazi shoot 'em up game. And there's how many out there? Like it does what it does the best for a reason, because it's just too damn good. Like, you can't really go wrong. I mean, obviously, if I didn't like this game that much, I wouldn't have played it at all. I wouldn't have even gone through the kind of gameplay. Because of this game, it makes it worth it. Like, no matter how hard it is or how hard you make it to be, or if it's just not hitting right, or you're not vibing or in the mood at the time, or it makes up for it because of the fact that you're playing this game and you're in this world and you're in this timeline playing as this character around these other people, and it's cool. I always enjoy like the hub areas. This one isn't quite as big, or it's smaller, or not as much to do as like the other games, I guess. Oh, the only real comparison would be, you know, New Colossus, which makes sense, but like as far as the hub areas and, you know, a lot of other little things in between, but yeah, it was interesting kind of re-seeing how he got his New Colossus is the sequel. So it was interesting kind of going back and seeing how BJ wound up where he was at ultimately, and because it goes what, New Order, New Colossus, and Youngblood, and I guess you could put Old Blood as like a prequel. I don't know. That would make sense. I never really paid attention to the timeline, to be fair. Like, it says old, but between Youngblood and Old Blood, New Colossus and New Order, it's kind of weird the way they word their games, but whatever. Yeah, it was a good time overall. It's not even like I'm giving the game itself shit, like, oh, this or that was stupid, or blah blah blah, or this section or this level, or it was all fine, it was all good, it was all, you know, very Wolfenstein. It has a very specific formula. The only gripe I had was the goddamn gunplay is fucking terrible. And to be fair, this is kind of like Doom in a way. It's not as fast-paced as Doom, or it's not, you know, like, there is some controllability there, but I don't know. It's a very good console game, but man, I could see it possibly being better shooting-wise on keyboard, mouse and keyboard. I'm only saying that because of the design of the game and what it's related to, and Doom is very well known as a PC game, and you think of old Wolfenstein, the classic OG, and the old Dooms and Quake and all that, very PC heavy stuff. But if you're good enough on a controller, it's fine, obviously, but at the same time, I can't even really compare the way, what kind of thing you play it on, because it's just the mechanic, it's just the game. The cover system and the auto aim is just, oof. And once again, I don't know if that's because of the fact that it's on console. Playing with a controller, I don't know. Even when you turn that off, it was still on. Like every other game I play, you turn that off, it's gone. Or at least for the most part. It might be one of like 50 games that still might kind of just be a little janky in that way. Like, it's just, you can't really, you only have so many audio controls and all the, like, you can only tweak the game so much the way you want it because of how limited it was because of when it came out, and whatever. I'm over it. Yeah, that's good. You can't go wrong. Good game to finish under a week. Not too long, not too short. Nice, fun little time. Yeah, it's not Not much else to it. It's Nazi. I keep wanting to say Nazi zombies, man. I don't know if it's just old blood that's stuck in my head or. Yeah, it's just a good time, a good way to break up kind of whatever else you might be playing. Something different. It is within that genre of fun, short games, and that's what makes it kind of good for me. Kind of taking breaks from longer, bigger games, doing something short like this, but yeah. Yeah, Wolfenstein. New Order. Yay.